Hi, you reached Senior Grandmaster Jimenez from Kaji Kimbo Live. Today I'll be doing volume 10 of My Story, Like It or Not. Um, I got about 5 chapters left of the book to come out. Some chapters are kind of hard to do, it's kind of touchy, so it takes me a while to get mentally focused on doing it. But like on this one is family, betrayal, living in the shadows. I know a lot of people in the past with their families and stuff. There's either two ways. You guys are real close together, or you guys are apart, fighting, bickering, and the whole life, which is basically a waste of time. Now, in my case, we had a good mom and dad. Um, Growing up, we pretty much got what we wanted. Um, we weren't really spoiled, but we got what we wanted. And we played baseball, and I got into karate. My little brother got into baseball. He did pretty good. My sister, she wasn't very athletic, so she really didn't do too much. But um, as we were growing up, and as I got into more of the martial arts and stuff like that, I started getting more recognized. I hate to use the word famous, but uh, got part of that in there, magazines, movies, and stuff. And growing up, my dad always put my brother against me. Cause my brother was real small and tiny, always growing up until he hit senior year in high school, then he got tall. And he would always put my brother's head, oh, one day you beat your brother up. And he didn't do the opposite, like a lot of fathers would do, make the brothers get close together like I do with my 2 sons. I make sure they don't fight with each other and they get along. I don't put them against each other. But me being older and stuff like that, of course I did my teasing too. I wasn't no angel teasing them and stuff like that. But, I kind of feel for them in a little bit because growing up in my shadows had to be hard. So for a long time, I'm just like, what an asshole the way they treat me. And then I sat back one day and I kind of realized that, really both of them, especially my brother, was in my shadows. And, growing up, my mom and dad were always at the karate tournaments. When I was in Las Vegas for all those years, my father went with me several times. And pretty much my dad never left my side. Uh, Since especially from 18 and on, never left my side. We had built some houses together in Hayward, just me and him that we owned, and we built the 4 of them. And then after that, he just never left my side. No matter where I went, he went. If I went to Home Depot, he went. And he didn't do that with my brother, and because he just didn't want to. He just didn't want to be around him and going places with him like that. Plus, my brother never took him anywhere. So growing up, myself was the main one that took care of my mother and my father, whatever needs they did, doctor's appointment, work around the house. I always did it. Nobody else helped me and stuff like that. So of course, I hate to use that word, the pet, but I was the pet. Because of the karate thing, and plus I did everything for them. No matter what it was, go get Tony. Go get my son. Go get my son. Go get my son. So I see in the past, that as I look back, I kind of put myself in my brothers and sisters' shoes. And I'm not going to say too much about my sister because, like I said, all through high school, I'm not being mean when I say this, but she wasn't athletic. She's not Mexican, but she wanted to be a lowrider. That type of thing. I guess a lot of kids went through that. A little bit of a stoner, which myself and my brother never did. We never did drugs and stuff like that. So and then being old school, my dad, of course, was the boys, not the daughter. Which is kind of unfair because, you just don't do that. But, back in the day, that's the way it was. The boys always meant more than the daughters. But, as I said, growing up and stuff like that, I look back and I can see why the hatred, especially with my brother towards me, was growing up. And I reached my hands out several times to him to, before the family and stuff like that. Now I take for granted when he wanted his fence built or he wanted something like that or a cement poured or his walkway. Oh, sure, I was okay to help him do that. But then after that, I was a fucking asshole and, da 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 da, and he'd make things up and, I was the complete opposite. I wanted him to be successful. My line was, of course, the martial arts and all what came with that. He decided to work for a construction company. That's his decision. It's not mine. It's not my dad's and stuff like that. And he had once told my sister that he thinks of me. He goes, I think of Tony every day, 7 days a week. I hate that fucker. Every day I wake up, I just can't stop thinking about him. And I told my mom and dad, I go, you guys need to get him help because that's not normal and stuff like that. And but then again, like I said, I could see living in the shadows because if the tables were turned, I probably would have that kind of animosity towards my brother, or if my sister was famous or whatever, I would have that. And that's one thing I want to point out to a lot of people out there. Never, never, never be jealous of anybody. All my life I've been that way. Never had that jealous streak in me. If somebody won grand champion, oh, congratulations. If somebody won the lottery, oh, I'm glad you won. It was never, oh my God, that person won. Oh my God, never. So, some people can handle the jealousy thing. Some people handle it well. Myself, never. I can care less. And I'm happy for everybody that does well and succeed in life. I don't want anybody to fail. That's just not how I feel. And I train my students that way. I've told them the same thing. I've told my children the same thing. Never, never be jealous of anyone in your life. The thing with going back to my brother and my sister, of course, I was the enemy because I was the pet. They weren't. But I was always more business savvier than the other two. My dad, he'd use the wrong words. I think a lot of times in that category, instead of just saying, well, let your brother do it. He's older, or he knows this. It'll be, oh, your brother and sister are fucking stupid. They don't know any better. He goes, let Tony take care of it. And those are little things that he did do wrong that he shouldn't have done because those words do hurt. So, but growing up, I was the only one that took care of my mom and dad. My sister and brother did nothing at all. So as time went on and stuff like that, and then, there's been times that my dad has given me money, if I needed something, and he's always came through and said, here. And this is how he was. If I said, Dad, give me $100, he'd tell me to go fuck myself. If I said, Dad, I need $10,000 for something, go get a check from Yogi. He'd call my mom Yogi. That's how he was. He wouldn't give, he wouldn't just, here's $100 to go screw around. But this was when I was a little bit younger. When my brother went through his divorce, it cost my dad almost $200,000 to bail my brother out. And my dad came to me and said, should I help him out? Because I have to give him one check for like $40,000. He said he'll pay me back. And I go, I know he's not, but he goes, what should I do? Now he asked my opinion. And I could have been an asshole and said, don't give him the money. But my exact words was, just give him the money so he won't lose his house. And this is the part I'm getting at. If the tables were turned, it'd be the other way around. He'd be all, no, don't give him the money. So, going back in the past, you see those kind of things, and then you think to your head, you're kind of going to go, well, I wonder why. And then you sit back and then you understand why as you get older and wiser and stuff like that. But like I said, I do feel sorry for them. They had their part for a little while. I call it their 15 minutes of fame. My mom started getting dementia because I had taken care of my mom, and she got dementia. And she started saying things. Of course, my brother hadn't seen my mom like 7 years since my dad passed. He called her a bunch of names and left because he wasn't the what do you call it, executor, or my sister was an executor of everything I was. So when she started getting dementia, they got onto her, and and she started going goofy and stuff like that. So they kept pretty much took control, and in doing so, lost everything. And they wound up putting her in a home. That's exactly what my dad didn't want that to happen. That's exactly what they did to her. And then I found out later on that they put her in a home, and then I took her out of the home. I brought her up to Tahoe with me, and she lasted about 6 months. But again, I call that their 15 minutes of fame. And they did exactly what my father said they would do. Lose everything and then kick my mom to the curb, And I'm not just being, just saying bad things about them because I don't want to be negative, but, this is a tell-all book and it's telling the truth, And the sad part was when I get to the family, like my mom had dementia and she would make things up and stuff that wasn't even true. All my cousins, Myrna and all them, that they were real close to me. I was a number one cousin, and my cousin Larry, his son little Larry, was real close to me. They all jumped the bandwagon and went against me when all that crap happened. Every one of them. All the ones that I was the number one cousin, they always want to knock that guy on the top pedestal and knock him off. They all jumped the bandwagon. But then when my mom got a hold of me after all that time, and after my brother put her in a home, then all of a sudden they ate egg because had egg in their face, And that's the shitty part about the betrayal part. They should have been by my side, stuck by my side, and they should have realized what the truth was. But of course, they wanted to jump the bandwagon. So, it kind of hurts a little bit of feelings and stuff like that. But I got thick skin, so I just like whatever. It goes on. But in life, you just don't want to have that jealousy thing, or, you don't want to live in anybody's shadows. Sometimes it's hard, but step away. Do your own thing. Don't worry about what the other person does. It's just a hard video to make because, it sounds like I'm slamming them, but I'm not. I'm just telling you the truth and the fact. It just is what it is. I'm just feel bad, but every time, like when my sister got her house and her husband, my dad loaned him the money for the down payment. The same thing with my brother. Never once did I go, no, don't do that. I'm all sure. Give it to them. Let them get their house. When my sister didn't have money for food and she worked at the cleaners, every Friday I come up there and gave her food money. But yet I was an asshole after. The same thing, my brother was getting picked on through school, my brother's a black belt, he used me as his little crutch. But as we got older, the sad part is just the jealousy comes in. So with this, in mind, like I said, this chapter is about family and betrayal. And the point I'm trying to get across here is when you have a family, you should be together and look out for each other. Like a lot of families do that. Their brothers and sisters are close, and then a lot of people aren't. My cousins, when the parents passed, they fought over the money, the property, and you know who won? All their attorneys. They won. They lost everything, and the attorneys got it all. So it's just so silly to do that, and especially when there's enough to go around. You don't need to try to stab the other person in the back to get more. So there's the point, like I said, the point of this video is the message is please try to work together with your families. Don't try to go against each other. Make it all happen. and be close, because you only have one sister, you only have one brother, you only have one mom, you only have one dad. You know, no matter how mad you get when they're gone, then you're going to see the mistake you made. You know, when my dad had his funeral, my brother made a complete fool out of himself. And I've never been to a funeral in my entire life. Someone in the audience yelling out bullshit every time, I said something on the microphone because I had to say the eulogy. My dad asked me to say the eulogy, and every time I said something, he'd yell out bullshit. And this is inside of a mortuary in front of 100, 200 people. I go, he just embarrassed himself. My mom got phone calls that night. Oh my God, I'm so sorry for what your son acted. But that's the kind of mentality that you don't want to have. That macho stuff, that doesn't work anymore. You don't need to walk around flexing and thinking you're a tough guy. It's just silly whatsoever. So, and then, like I said, when my mom passed, the whole bill was put on me. After my brother and sister taking my mom's money, I still had to pay for everything. That's the sad part. I hate to bring this up, but it's just fact. Well, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was kind of a hard one to make. Kind of a little bit all over the place, but like I said, this is a hard one to make, and it's been months and months before I tried making this video, because it was just hard, because some things I should say, some things I shouldn't say. And there's a lot more, but I don't want to embarrass my sister and brother, So, again, this is volume 10. I got about 5 more volumes left, or chapters. And then the book will be printed. And then in the book will be other things that I can't say on social media that I don't want to say on here. So in every chapter, there's going to be more to it. So when you can read this online, you get the gist of what's going on. But after the book is completely finished, then I'm going to go back every chapter myself, and I have a ghostwriter that's going to help me. One of my students, Manuel, is going to help me with the writing, so I do it right. And we'll add more things to it that, like I said, I don't want to put on social media, because I don't want to bring up some people's names on social media just to hurt them, because some are close to me, and, I don't want to do that. And the book will be on Amazon. I know in New York, for a while, was calling me like 3 times a week to push his book, and I pushed it out for a couple of years, because like I said, some of the chapters are really, really hard for me to make. The karate ones, they're easy. The family ones, they're a little bit harder, because I don't want to say certain things, and hurt people, but yet in the same token, it's a tell-all book and there's no lies, so I have to tell it the way it is. But again, it'll be on Amazon, it'll be on the bookstores and stuff, so you'll be able to order it. And then, of course, my first book goes out to Mary Jo, because she's been waiting all these 2 years, so the #1 copy goes to her. So anyway, I'm Senior Grandmaster Jimenez. This is my story, like it or not. It'll be up on our YouTube channel, which I have another YouTube channel. I made a brand new YouTube channel just for this book. It's Senior Grandmaster SGM.HEMENES Tell All Book, and that's on YouTube. So go there, subscribe to it, read the books. I got people that read them all the time. So I had to start all over, put all the books on there. So there's no comments from other people right now, because those don't go back, those don't switch on there. But all the chapters will be on there, and I just have to put them in order still. But anyway, well, I appreciate you guys, reading my book, and I hope that sometimes you guys learn from these some of these talks. Like I said, the jealous monster, keep it away, because all it will do is really wreck your whole life. Anyway, I'm Senior Grandmaster Jimenez from Country Kimbo Live. This is my story, like it or not. Thank you.